Okay, sige po. Wow, ang dami pong tao. Good morning po sa lahat. Mainit na pagbati din po. Noong inanyayahan po ako na magsalita sa napakalaking conference na ito, hindi po ako makapaniwala. Masanay po kasi akong maging isa sa mga nakikinig at nakaupo kasama ng marami sa atin, sa iba na mga nagsasalita dito sa harapan. Kaya unang-una po ay damayan niyo po muna ako. Maaari ko po bang hilingin sa lahat ng babae rito ngayon sa Araneta Coliseum na tumayo? Lahat po. Kayo po mga teachers, sisters, catechists, church workers, ministry workers, estudyante po, yung mga organizers po na talaga nagpagod para sa event na ito. Yan. Palakpakan po natin ang ating mga sarili. Dapat po. Yan. Pwede na po kayong maupo. Ang presensya po natin dito ngayon ay tanda ng higit na mas inklusibong simbahan. Nakakapagpalakas loob po sa akin na makitang napakaraming babae dito tulad ko. Yan. Pagsasalita po ako ngayon, hindi po bilang kinatawan dahil iba't iba naman po ang mga kababaihan. At kung tutuusin, mas marami pang mga babae ang higit na naiisang tabi. Tulad ng urban at rural poor, mga IP, mga biktima ng karahasan, mga tinamaan ng sakuna, mga babaeng nalayo sa sariling pamilya dahil sa politikal o ekonomikal na mga dahilan, mga LGBTIQ at iba pa. Hindi man po kinatawan, nagsasalita po ako ngayon bilang kaisa. Gagawin ko po ang presentasyon sa Ingles dahil mayroon daw po tayong mga international na kalahok. In the Gospel of Luke, an expert challenges Jesus with the question, "And who is my neighbor?" Jesus responds with the parable of the Good Samaritan. Okay, kung nakinig po kayo sa presentation ni Bishop, who are the main characters in the story? Sino po? Okay, syempre, yung Good Samaritan. Sino pa po? Okay, yung priest, yung Levite, yung... Okay, yung nabiktima dun sa gilid ng daan, yung half-dead man. But there is one more often forgotten character in the story who plays a very important role. And is entrusted with healing the man on the side of the road. It is the innkeeper. I found this article about innkeepers in Palestine under the Roman Empire during the Common Era. It says, women are also mentioned as operating inns during this period. They appear in the capacity of innkeepers' wives and co-workers. Alternatively, they might also be independent innkeepers, dancers, maidservants, or even call girls. Moreover, women who operated inns independently were regarded in a particularly negative light. Greek and Roman literature abounds in contemptuous descriptions of female innkeepers who are referred to as repulsive and considered as dregs of humanity, salot ng lipunan, no better than prostitutes. What if the innkeeper was a woman? She is hardly mentioned in the story. Probably looked down upon, but the parable ends with her being entrusted with money and with healing a dying man. We actually don't know what happens next, but we tend to assume a good ending to the story. The good ending assumes that this innkeeper is capable and trustworthy. Can a woman innkeeper also be recognized as neighbor who shares her wisdom, or will she continue to remain a marginal character entrusted with crucial work? In the church today, women can indeed be seen as neighbors in the sense that we are among the othered in the church, but we are also members of the church. We are like innkeepers who are just right here, but we are also neighbors. I therefore prefer the term kapwa, because kapwa is never just an outsider. We share the same identity and mission as members of the Christian community. I conducted a workshop with some BEC formators in one of our dioceses in Metro Manila. All the participants were women. Hindi ko po sinadya, pero mas madalas na active yung women. They raised many concerns about poverty, gender discrimination, changing sexual mores, competitive leadership, heavy responsibilities, and family-related challenges. In the end, many of them felt that men and women were not yet truly being treated as equals, and that women who were poor were at an even greater disadvantage because they were often regarded as katulong in the church. When asked whether they thought the church was responding to their concerns, many of them said that it depends on the priest. Sometimes these concerns were addressed, but sometimes parish priests were just preoccupied with fundraising. Sorry po, pero ito talaga yung sinabi nila sa akin. Not to the church. They were creative, they started from the ground up, and they integrated forming communities with forming their own families. They could relate to others more courageously, were charismatic, and were strategic. They did all these for the church while also working at home. I asked if their contributions were being recognized, but they just laughed, telling me that women's contributions were not just being noticed, they were being exploited. The more they showed enthusiasm and capability, the more they were given assignments. However, they played minimal roles in decision-making. Isa sa mga babaeng nakilala ko sa diocese na ito ay itatago ko na lang sa pangalang Nanay Innkeeper. Bumilib ako sa kanyang husay at pagsusumikap na magpatupad ng iba't ibang programa kasama ng BEC. Kaso, nagkaroon sila ng malaking problema. Napalitan ang kanilang kura paroko. Hindi tulad ng dati nilang kura na supportive, ang bagong assigned na pari sa kanilang parokya ay hindi masyadong mahilig lumabas sa kumbento. Maliban na lamang para magmisa. At lumabas daw kasama ng kanyang mga kaibigang pari para kumain. Baka sa muka ni nanay ang pagkadismaya. Women are very present and active, but our contribution and the space given to us to grow and share our wisdom is still very limited. It is in this context that I ask, where is women's wisdom in the life of the church? A document that can serve as a resource for this question is ITC's Sensus Fidei in the life of the church. The Sensus Fidei is an empowering notion because it acknowledges the God-given instinct of the faithful to recognize the gospel. Kasama po tayo dito, ang mga laiko, gumagalaw sa atin ang Espiritu Santo at may kakayahan tayong magets ang Ebanghelyo. The document attributes the Sensus Fidei to the wisdom of an elderly woman who made quite an impression on Pope Francis. Pope Francis quoted the words of a humble elderly woman he once met. If the Lord did not forgive everything, the world would not exist. And he commented with admiration, that is the wisdom which the Holy Spirit gives. The woman's insight is a striking manifestation of Sensus Fidei. Women as part of the faithful followers of Christ personally have Sensus Fidei Fidelis and participate in the Sensus Fidei Fidelium of the whole Church. While the document affirms lay people, there are still some theological avenues that remain to be explored, especially regarding mindsets and structures that tend to hold women back. Bago po tayo tumuloy, nais ko lang pong ipakita ito. Ayan. Nais ko lang pong ipakita sa slide na ito na ayon din doon sa dokumento, okay lang naman po sa simbahan na mag-isip at magbigay puna sa mga turo nito. It is in this spirit that I humbly offer 2 points for improvement and imagine with the church some possibilities and alternatives that can be explored by our community. Okay, regarding truth. The first, our understanding of truth has been based for so long on classical theology, which tends to build on hierarchical ways of thinking. The document makes the distinction between spontaneous and rational, often making the spontaneous secondary and inferior. The document even refers to those without theological competence, relegating those who are unable to explain truth in a rational way to belong to a lesser category. But when we think of ordinary women, the poor, indigenous peoples, or other marginalized others who think differently, must we consider their understanding inferior? Si Nanay Innkeeper ay isa sa mga maaaring tawaging without theological competence. Hindi siya nag-aral ng teolohiya o nagtapos sa seminaryo. Alam niyang dapat naroon si Father kasama ng mga tao, pero hindi niya ito maipaliwanag sa parang makukumbinsi si Father. Marami tayong hindi maririnig kung may bias tayong makinig lamang sa mga tugma sa inaasahan natin. Another issue concerns participation. Active participation in the life of the church is the first and most fundamental disposition necessary for true participation in the sensus fidei fidelium. An important feature in the structure of the church that is supposed to facilitate lay participation is consultation, which entails seeking a judgment or advice as well as inquiring into a matter of fact. Consultation is thus only a process of inquiry. It is still up to the church authority involved to make his decision based on his interpretation of what he has heard. Is the setup participatory? Participation involves different approaches. It can range from merely information sharing, which is disseminating information to lay people, to real empowerment, which entails enabling the communities to actively participate in decision-making. Consultation often only ensures participation up to the level of consultative participation. For Bishop Claver, the present post-Vatican II canonical structures of participation are inadequate because these bodies are only consultative and can even be marked by dominance and control. According to him, participation involves sharing in decision-making, both as individuals and communities, and this should primarily mean a decentralization of power. Kahit na maraming nasimulan si Nanay Innkeeper sa kanilang pamayanan kasama ng PPC, nakasalalay pa rin sa approval ni Father ang pagpapatuloy ng marami sa kanilang programa at budget. Para matuloy nila ang kanilang mga nais gawin para sa sariling komunidad, kailangan nilang makiusap kay Father. Nakakabagabag po na kailangan ng mga taong makiusap para sa mga bagay na nararapat namang kanila. Okay. Paano tayo maaaring magkaroon ng bukas na isip sa mga tulad ni Nanay Innkeeper? How can we think beyond classical theology? Elizabeth Johnson offers an answer by way of wisdom tradition. Wisdom, or Sophia, is a powerful and caring female figure. She is the symbolic image of God reaching out, creating and redeeming, coming and passing. Jesus, as the incarnation of Sophia, who actualizes the work of wisdom, is an image who carried profound religious meaning long before the term logos entered the grammar of faith. Wisdom tradition highlights how God can be encountered in the natural, ordinary, and daily moments of people's actual lives. The wisdom tradition offers a way by which we can widen our theological horizons to recognize God in everything and everyone. In this sense, women and ordinary laypersons can be considered not only as objects of theological instruction, but also as subjects of their own theologies as well. A sapiential epistemology also bring the experience of the poor, openness to other rationalities, including indigenous wisdom and popular piety, as well as creating a wider harmonious relationship that embraces the earth at the forefront. I have also pointed out how present structures are inadequate to ensuring lay participation. Sinikap ni Nanay Innkeeper na magkwento ng magkwento at magpaalam ng magpaalam sa kanilang kura paroko, pero nakakapagod din ito. The problem we face runs deeper than the instruments of consultation and concern, and involves the structure of the church itself. Allows us to ask ourselves why we have such a very centralized hierarchical power structure that tends to diminish rather than uphold voices from below, from where the Spirit also whispers. Instead of relationships modeled after a power over system, can we explore other models of relationship within our community, such as a power with others model? A power with others model or partnership paradigm means having an egalitarian notion of authority, where power is shared rather than a hierarchical top-down notion of authority. It entails respecting and celebrating diversity and making those who feel least, last, and lost no longer least, nor last, nor lost, but included in the community. It means ensuring that our structures are just and establishing mechanisms of accountability. Such a community can enable us to see God not only as powerful but as wisdom present within and among us all. Yan, conclusion na po. Okay. Where is women's wisdom in the life of the church? It is here, alive and growing. It is there wherever Sophia is. At the same time, it is a dynamic power that is also waiting to be unleashed. It is often whispered silently in the inns, always ready to care and heal. But can women be imagined beyond the inn? Can we be seen as co-travelers? Can we be recognized as people on the side of the road who are hurting? The man in the parable was hurt by robbers, while many of us have been hurt by people we trust and leaders we look up to. We need compassion. Can we also be recognized for our courage, agency, and initiative like the Good Samaritan? When we speak out and speak wisely, even though this may not please authority, can we also be regarded as good? Are we neighbor, kapwa, equals? Anong nangyari kina Nanay Innkeeper? Nagkaroon siya ng isa pang ideya. Dahil mahilig naman si Father magmisa, naisip niyang imbitahan si Father sa street mass at pumayag naman ito. Tapos nag-organize sila ng maraming street mass. Dahil dito, mismong nakita ni Father ang pamayanan at nakasama ang mga tao. Unti-unti ring nagbago ang kaniyang disposisyon. Masaya si Nanay Innkeeper nung ikinuwento niya sa akin ito. Alam niyang nagbunga ang pangungulit niya at nagbago rin ang isip ng kanilang kura. Siya at ang mananampalatayang laiko ang naging evangelizers ni Father. I see more and more women becoming involved in the church, but somehow many of them still remain secondary. They are often tasked to implement programs but are not entrusted with envisioning directions. And despite all their efforts, their parish priests have the last say. I have seen many tears shed because of 2 letters just because this came from a powerful higher-ranking cleric. No. I long for a church where women can be like Mary, who said yes in the Annunciation and proclaimed a transformed vision of the world in her Magnificat, without waiting for Joseph's permission, and even though this was contrary to expectations. I long for a church wherein women involved in the day-to-day struggles of their own people and attuned to the community's hopes can also discern God prompting and moving and decide without having to ask for men's permission. Guided by the Spirit, can't we trust that the decision they will make can also be for the benefit and salvation of the world? Thank you.